All right, take two on this video here. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. If you guys haven't seen, I just put up, as right before recording this, the video of the three things I'm going to be watching for Anaheim 1, so make sure to go check that out. This video here, we are going to wrap up press day here. A1 is tomorrow. I'm filming this on Friday night. It's going live tomorrow morning before A1 to give you one last thing to watch before you actually see the bikes hit the track for race day. So make sure you guys subscribe because we got tons of content coming to you guys this weekend here, including a live show for the second qualifying session, a race reaction show, and then the main show will be coming up on Tuesday where we will sit down and wrap up all the action from A1. And we're going to jump right in here with the title and thumbnail that you guys are seeing, and that is that the rivalry between Danger Boy and Jetson is already being set up. And it is absolutely incredible to me that it's being set up. Basically, right off the rip in the press conference, the question is posed to Danger Boy about rivalries and flying and all this stuff like that. And next thing you know, he is just going off talking about, and to quote it loosely here, how he doesn't believe that Jett would stand a chance against him on a 250. And my jaw hit the floor listening to this. I was in the shop working, absolutely hit the floor. Could not believe that he was running his mouth like that. I'm here for it. Love it. Huge fan of it. Please don't ever stop, Deegan, because we need this in the sport. 100% it's going to make the sport better. And I even like, if you want to go even farther, there was another jab in one of the interviews I saw with Jett back towards him because someone had brought up, and maybe it was Racer X where they were asking him. So basically, Deegan and Jett have both flew private out to the race, right? And Jett throws a little jab back of, well, you know what? We both flew private, but I didn't have to pay for mine. And I went, oh, this is good. This is really good. It's already good. It's already good. This is going to be epic. This is going to be the Travis Pastrana, Brian Deegan battle of the 90s, and now we have it in a new age. Totally and completely awesome. Comment your thoughts down below because I know you Deegan people are out there. I know you guys are fully backing him, and you're going to get in here and run your mouth about how Jett has no chance racing him on 450. And you know what? I will bring this up on the main show too because I want to talk to Justin and Cole about this because I have more thoughts, but I'm trying to keep this video short. So other things I noticed today from the press conference. So Kitchen was sick. That was interesting. Deegan didn't hesitate in another interview I saw either to take jabs at Kitchen. So that was interesting that he was sick and under the weather here. Hopefully it won't affect him tomorrow, but that's not looking very positive. On the 450 side here, I think anybody who thought that Jett Lawrence was going to have issues coming into this season, we were all wrong. And there was a lot of us, and including me. If you go back and watch the things I'm going to watch at A1, one of the things was Jett and his bike setup and how he kind of did in qualifying. And I don't think I'm going to have a problem anymore. So number one, Jett has been very open in this offseason about the haters getting to him, and it's been discussed a lot with people who were there on the press day that they did last month, like December or November, whatever. That his demeanor wasn't quite the same. The people that were being haters to him were really bothering him. That's all gone. That left, flew the coop. Now his father, his brother, they've all gotten in his ear. They've gotten him back on track to where he's not worried about the haters, which is great. And it's good for all of us because we need that Jett Lawrence around. We don't need the sad, depressed one because I don't think he would be around very much longer. Now, with that being said, I've also watched a bunch of the riding videos. And I will tell you from what I'm seeing, they've got that bike under control. Jett looks very, very fluid. I believe I was watching the Motocross Action press day riding video. Jett looks very, very fluid. The bike looks very, very good from what I've seen so far. We'll see what it looks like in whoops tomorrow. That could change things a little bit. But for the most part, I think that bike is under control. His mind and motivation is under control. And this is getting awesome. Should set us up well. One other note that I really noted here, two final notes here as far as press day went for talking points here. Number one would be that Jorge Prado is way more injured than anticipated and has way less prep time than anticipated. And I believe this is going to be a bigger struggle than anticipated for him. I'm not sure what that means, but I don't know that he'll be a top 5 guy until later in the year if he gets there. He was very open. He had an injury, broke his pinky very soon after coming to the United States here, which made him be off the bike for about 2.5 weeks. And then he had the crash right before the media days, which caused a concussion and caused him to be off the bike for more. So I believe he's coming in very, very under-prepared compared to what he wanted to be / should be. And I think it's going to be a struggle. Now, he never really put out there what he thought would be okay. It'll be interesting to hear interviews after the race, see, depending upon what he gets, and see really what he thinks. But I just think that that's going to be a tougher road than anticipated. The only other thing with the press conferences that was really of note, because everybody, bike's good, I'm good, off-season's good, whatever, typical BS. The only other thing to note from there is they did basically ask Tomac straight up, like, now you're sure this is going to be your last one? Like, this is it? And he was like, whoa, he kind of hemmed and hawed at the end of the press conference. You can go watch it for yourself. Made me kind of think that there's a high probability we might actually see him for a Supercross-only deal next year. But we'll have to wait and see. Moving on, a couple other things that happened today here. So they announced the SMX rounds there. Again, no surprise. We talked about this in the members live stream on Thursday last night. You got North Carolina, Charlotte there for the first round. You've got Vegas for the last round. Now, the middle round's an interesting one. So the middle round seems to be the rotation. We started with Chicago, which was okay. I really liked it because it was close, but apparently it wasn't, I guess, the cup of tea of Feld or something. I don't know, or maybe they just want to rotate. I'm not really sure. So then we went to Texas last year, which was just absolute shit. That track was garbage. The dirt was garbage. It was just a big flop. No one really cared for that one. And now this year, super interesting, we are going to St. Louis in the Dome at the Americas. And I know why we're going there. Number one, it's middle of the country, which is what they're trying to have. They're trying to have an East Coast, a West Coast, and then a middle of the country one for these SMX rounds so that they can cover basically everybody, right? But the other thing is that they don't use that stadium for anything anymore, and so you can get that stadium super duper cheap. I'm actually surprised we don't go there during the regular Supercross season anymore. So yeah, and they're talking that they are going to do some sections out into the convention center space that they usually use for pits, which will be interesting because then I'll be like, where are we putting the pits? But that should be interesting. Me and the boys were talking. We might have to make a road trip there. It's only about a 6-hour drive. We've been there before. We know exactly where we're going. So we'll see what the situation is when we get there. But that was interesting. I wouldn't have called that. I thought maybe we'd come back to Chicago. I thought maybe they'd find something else in the Midwest, somewhere else to go. But should be interesting. And that's going to be our first true indoor arena that we go to for these SMX rounds. We did go to the Coliseum, open air, go up the whatever out into the whatever arches or whatever. So we did go there. So that was pretty much a Supercross stadium, but to be in an actual stadium, and I know that floor is slightly larger than a lot of the other ones. So that's helpful, and I will be interested because I have actually been down there and gone through those tunnels and everything for that race. I guess there's enough room. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I can't wait to see it. The only other thing is that the TLD Ducati team was officially announced today. Basically, supposedly they are going to start to sell units in July is what they're pushing for. They didn't have a production model. This was still a test model that they had that they debuted there. I've heard rumblings they're going to try to race during the outdoors, which one would assume if they're going to try to sell bikes starting in July, they're going to try to get the bikes homologated. And I don't know if it'll be for the start of outdoors. The nice thing about outdoors is you basically have it split up. You've got, I think it's like 4-4-3, if I'm correct. And maybe it's a little bit different. Maybe it's like 4-3-4 or whatever. Anyway, but it's basically, there's like 3 sections of the outdoor season. So I would assume that they might try to come race like at least the last few rounds, maybe into those middle 4. I don't know if maybe they'll make a push and try to do all of them. I'm not sure. Comment your thoughts down below. This has been your press day wrap up here. Lots more content to come, like I said, so make sure to keep an eye on the channel here. We're gonna go live tomorrow for qualifying. I'm not exactly sure how early, so make sure to hit that bell notification if you guys really want to follow our content there, so you'll get notified when we do go live tomorrow. Probably be somewhere around second qualifying time, but we might start during the break. I'm not 100% sure how the day is going to go tomorrow with that. So anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. We're back. Supercross season. We'll see you all tomorrow.